Hi. Today in this video, we will present a simple way to use MECHA's button confirmation options. As you may know, MECHA can also be used to automate a shooting process. Using a MECHA controller, you can create presets, and MECHA will rotate and trigger your camera as specified in your preset. You can specify how MECHA should proceed from one position to another using the E setting, which includes values in seconds, shutter confirmation options, and button confirmation options. When using MECHA to trigger a camera, you need a shutter release cable between the camera's shutter release port and the MECHA controller's CAM port. Before explaining the button confirmation options, let's take a quick look at the other options. E, specified in seconds, represents the duration of the shutter button signal. Pay attention also to the A setting, as MECHA proceeds to the next position after a period of E plus A seconds. Therefore, the duration of the shutter button signal, E, plus the delay after each trigger sequence, A, should be at least equal to the exposure set on your camera. The shutter confirmation options instruct MECHA to proceed to the next position in preset only after receiving confirmation from your camera. In this case, you will need an additional cable besides the one mentioned earlier. A cable for shutter release confirmation to connect the AUX port of the MECHA controller and the PC sync port of your camera. Button confirmation options instruct MECHA to proceed to the next position only after receiving confirmation from either the controller or the IR remote commander when the right button is pressed. When using these options, you only need one cable between your camera and MECHA, a shutter release cable, mentioned earlier. It attaches to the camera's shutter release port and then connects to the MECHA controller's CAM port. Any camera supporting a wired remote shutter release cable is compatible with MECHA. MECHA accepts any release cable that has a 2.5 mm, 3-pole, plug at one end and a connector compatible with the original remote release at the other end. Third-party manufacturers are quick to support popular camera models, and we can source the cable if available. If you order a MECHA, please add a cable to your cart, a straight cable for MECHA single axis and a coiled cable for MECHA dual axis. When using the BTN-C option, you must confirm each movement. MECHA will not proceed to the next position until it receives confirmation from the right button on the controller or remote. The BTN-CT option is more automatic. You only need to launch the preset and confirm the first movement. MECHA will then use that information to complete the preset execution. For example, if you press the right button 1 second after the beginning, MECHA will proceed to the next position 1 second later, and so on, without any further action from you. This is the case when the number of trigger signals is 1. If this number is 3, for example, you will confirm 3 times, once after each trigger signal is sent. MECHA will then learn the intervals and complete the preset execution using these learned intervals. You can specify the focal length to simplify the process of creating a preset. For 8 mm, MECHA creates a script consisting of a starting position, which is level in our case, for positions at a tilt of 0 degrees, and zenith and nadir positions. We will delete these positions. Keep in mind that we have set 3 trigger signals and selected the BTN-CT option, the learning option. We will enter some notes about that in the notes field. Save the preset and launch it using the right button in the user interface. MECHA sends the first trigger signal and waits for confirmation. Press the right button on the controller or remote. MECHA then sends the second trigger signal and waits for confirmation. Press the right button again. MECHA then sends the third trigger signal and waits for the final confirmation. Press the right button one more time. MECHA now proceeds to the second position, using the learned intervals, and so on. Position 3. Position 4. MECHA emits 2 beeps when it finishes executing the preset. The BTN-C option, with 3 TRGs, requires 3 confirmations at each position. However, you are free to choose when to press the button to confirm, which is useful in some cases. You will set 1 TRG in the MECHA preset if you set your camera to take the entire set of bracketed shots with a single press of the shutter. Only 1 button confirmation is necessary in that case when using the BTN-CT option, and 1 confirmation at each position when using the BTN-C option. Without changing any other settings, we will simply make some notes about this preset, and then save it using the Save button. The preset can be launched from the user interface using the right button. Remember that in this preset, we have 1 trigger signal per position, 1 TRG, and the BTN-C confirmation option. Therefore, unlike the first example, MECHA sends 1 trigger signal and expects 1 button confirmation at each position. Press the right button to confirm. The same applies at positions 2, 3, and 4. Position 2. Position 3. Position 4. Thank you for watching.